We're out here in the shed with a few hugger parts that have some problems, and that's due to there's a huge hole up there that some squirrels chewed, and a bunch of water in the spring from the snow and that just leaked down onto the shelf, onto the bench. That's what I'm guessing, because I wasn't out here, and I had a bunch of parts for the hugger on the bench, and now they have some corrosion issues. As you can see, these cylinder bores are just nasty. Like, I'm gonna take some steel wool to them and see how like pitted they are, if they're savable or not. That really sucks because it's expensive. And this is a rocker box cover that was sitting here as well. It's one that I just started with just to see if I could do it, but this was in really bad shape. It was growing like a white crust all over it on the bottom, on the inside, but I scrubbed everything off, and I just started with some 120 grit sandpaper, and I don't have a lot of sandpaper because I don't know, it's expensive, and I've just had like whatever was given to me in that. But I did have some 120, and I was using that for a bit to see if I could get the corrosion off, and it was pretty pitted. Like, there's still some like blemishes here and that, but they're not, I don't want to sand anymore. When I polish them, I just kind of want it to match, you know, the weathered look of that cover. But yeah, this was just finished off with 120 grit. You could see some of them were really, it was really pitted, but I'm happy with what it looks like now. Like, I should have done a video or something, but I thought it would be boring or something. But I was sanding it anyways. Yeah, I was sanding with 120, and that was taking forever. So luckily, I used to do auto body back in the day, and I had one of these fiber wheels, they call them, or at least that's what I was told they were called. And I was able to go along here, and I tried to go as straight as I could, you know, so it's not lumpy or nothing. I did a pretty good job, and there's still a couple, like, it left some dig marks in there, but they're not too deep. I'm just gonna, because I finished it with the 120, I'm gonna go with like a 220 next, because that's what I have. And I have some 320 that I'm gonna finish it off with, and some Scotch-Brite pads just to kind of blend all the scratches out. But it looks way better than what it was. Like, I was ready to buy a new one and just throw this in the garbage, but yeah, I thought I'd work at it, see what would happen, and it's looking okay so far. So yeah, I'm gonna, you know, sand out these scratches with the finer grit paper, and I'm probably gonna polish it up to get it like this, and I'll probably polish this up too, just so they match. So I've been working on this rocker box cover for a long time now, and like I said, I started with the 120, and I grabbed some 220, and I was sanding all one direction this way, blending all the 120 sand scratches out. Then I grabbed a 320, and I sanded all the 220 sand scratches out. And this is all I had lying around, like, for sandpaper. So I had this Scotch-Brite pad, and this is a red one. I think they have a gray one, and it even does like a finer job to blend, scratches out. And I went all the way around with this Scotch-Brite pad and blended those sand scratches out, and turned out pretty good. There's one spot where you should probably watch out for. It's just like really thin wall, like this right here. Like, you can see the size comparison, my fingernail and the edge. It's pretty thin on this side, and at first I thought that was my mistake, like I sanded too much. But I took a look at the other rocker box cover, and it's the same way. Like, the edge there is really thin, and I had to watch out. Like, I was really mindful of it, make sure I didn't sand, anything there. And so far it turned out pretty good, way better than what it was. And my next step is probably to grab some polish and just polish it out. Like, I bought this cone a long time ago, probably like a year ago, and that's why these rocker box covers were sitting here, because I bought this cone in the intention to polish these rocker box covers up, and they just sat here, and then all the water came and was sitting here, and they got corroded and that, along with my cylinder bores. So I was gonna polish these up, and what turned into a simple polishing job turned into like a bunch of hours sanding this rocker box cover. Like, you can see, like, I went all one direction, like all one way. Like, you can sand whatever way you want, but that's how I did it. So I'm probably gonna try some polish now and see if I can blend the rest of those scratches out. So I took a look at the polishes that I had, and this is the one that I just finished using, and on the back it said to do one thin coat and let that dry, and then buff it off with a dry cloth. And that's what I did to this, and so far that looks pretty nice. Not completely satisfied with it yet, because that polish says it's not a wax, so it'd be nice to have like a cutting wax, and then have a polishing wax to smooth out, blend out some of those scratches. But I do have some of this aluminum polish that I bought a long time ago, and I was taking a look at that, and it's kind of the same deal, and it says leave it on there and do it sparingly, and then you rub it off until it turns black, and then you polish off the black with a clean dry cloth. And I just did kind of a quick job, and it worked pretty good. Like, it ate through all like this dry grimy stuff. I think there's some overspray on there, and like a lot of dirt and that still, and it was cutting right through all that stuff and starting to make this look nice. Like, I wanted to polish this up so I could see kind of what I'm competing with, so I could match this with that, and everything just kind of blends nice together. But I'm probably gonna do that next, is you know, polish these up, polish the rest of the covers up, and I won't do that in this video because it's probably getting too long. Probably make another video about it. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this video here. Right? Later.